Hello, my Biblio darlings, and welcome to Bibliothesia. In case we haven't met before, my name is Mally, and the story that I'm going to be reading to you today is called Little Miss Splendid. But before I read to you the story, let's remind our body that we're safe right here and right now, and we're going to do it through a deep breathing exercise, and I'm going to share some jokes with you. So let's start off with a deep breathing exercise. We're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts, and exhale the breath out for 8 counts. So pretend you have a balloon inside your tummy, and we're going to make that balloon bigger and bigger and bigger as we take in deep breaths. So inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold the breath for And now exhale out like you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. Good job, because that deep breathing exercise reminds us that we're safe right here and right now. And the other thing that helps our body to relax is to hear jokes. So I'm going to reach over for my joke book and share with you 3 knock-knock jokes. Here's the first one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cod. Cod who? Caught you red-handed with all my gummy worms. That's for caught you red-handed with all my gummy worms. That's cute. Knock, knock. Who's there? Dancer. Dancer who? Dancer is simple. It wasn't a ghost. It was only the wind. Get it? The answer. Dancer. Oh my goodness. And let's read the third knock-knock joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cosmo. Cosmo who? Cosmo trouble than you're worth. God, because you're trouble, you cause more trouble than you're worth. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, I'm putting the joke back in place. And now I'm going to read to you Little Miss Splendid. So with that, what I notice on the front cover is Little Miss Splendid is green, and she's wearing a hat, and the top part of the hat is all red, and then there's a blue band around it, and then it is white with red polka dots. And then Little Miss Splendid has a red purse and fancy red shoes. And it looks like Little Miss Splendid likes to walk with her nose up in the air. I might be wrong, but let's see what happens. Nothing was too good for Little Miss Splendid. She lived in a huge house surrounded by large gardens. She slept in an enormous bed with silk sheets and silk pillowcases. She bathed in a gold tub, and she dined off silver plates. Oh, she was splendid. At least she thought so. Little Miss Splendid thought a lot of herself. In fact, she thought about little else. Her house looks very fancy. One day, while taking a stroll around her gardens, Little Miss Splendid came upon a small door in one of the walls. She'd never noticed it before. I wonder what's through there, she thought, and opening the door, she stepped through. Oh, look at the worm looking at Little Miss Splendid. Looks like a happy worm. Oh, and there's 2 little flowers as well. She found herself on a road. Along came Mr. Small out for a walk. Look at Mr. Small. He's tipping up his hat. Good morning, he remarked politely, raising his hat. Little Miss Splendid stuck her nose even higher in the air and walked past him as if he wasn't there. Rude. What a common little man, she thought to herself. Oh, I think I'm beginning to understand. Little Miss Splendid thinks she's better than everybody else. Let's see. She came to a bus stop. Mr. Happy and Mr. Daydream were waiting for a bus into town. Hello, grinned Mr. Happy. Who are you? I, she replied, am splendid. Oh, said Mr. Happy. "Are you going to catch the bus?" asked Mr. Daydream. "Me?" she said. "The bus? Never. I," she went on, "have never ever in the whole of my life traveled on a bus." An expression of distaste, or like disgust, like ugh, crossed her face. "You have to sit next to people on buses," she went on, "and that would never do." "Oh," said Mr. Happy, and scratched his head. He couldn't think of anything to say. Miss Splendid walked off with her nose very high in the air. Miss Splendid arrived in town. She looked at herself in all the shop windows as she walked down the street. "I must say," she thought to herself, "I look absolutely splendid." And then something caught her eye. I wonder what it is. There, in the middle of the window of the hat shop, was a hat. Not just a hat and a half. The most magnificent, sumptuous, desirable, gorgeous, spectacular, amazing, splendid hat you've ever seen. Well, let's look at this hat. It has pink underneath, and then it has stripes on the outer part, and it looks like there's blue, white, yellow, and pink stripes. And it looks like the top part of the hat, there's a purple bow around it, and there's yellow. Then on the top part of the hat, looks like there's pink. It looks almost like a planter with 3 flowers coming out of it. Miss Splendid marched into the shop. She snapped her fingers, and a saleslady hurried to her side. "Good morning, madam," the saleslady said. Miss Splendid ignored her. "Can I help you?" "I," announced Miss Splendid, "wish to try on the hat in the window." Miss Splendid looked at herself in the mirror. "Magnificent," she breathed. "I looked absolutely magnificent, and I'll take it," she announced. "But don't you want to know how much it cost?" asked the saleslady. "Costs?" asked Miss Splendid loftily. "I never discuss money matters. Send me the bill." And she marched out of the shop. Little Miss Splendid stood on the pavement and held up her hand. "Taxi," she announced in a loud, important voice. A taxi stopped. "Take me home," she ordered, and went to get in, but of course she couldn't. Her new hat was much too large to fit through the taxi door. "Driver," she said, "you should purchase yourself a larger taxi." In the meantime, she went on, "I shall walk." The taxi driver grinned. Little Miss Splendid walked along. "Perhaps it's better to walk," she thought to herself, "so that everyone has the chance to admire my magnificent new hat." But then it happened. It started to rain. Look at Little Miss Splendid. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. Okay, sorry. And the trouble was, the more it started to rain, the more it rained. And the trouble was, the more it rained, the more Miss Splendid got wet. The trouble was, the wetter she got, the wetter her hat got. What a sorry sight. Don't you agree? The bus on its return journey from town passed her. Mr. Happy and Mr. Daydream, on their way home and sitting in the dry, looked out the window. "I say," remarked Mr. Happy, looking out at the bedraggled figure trudging along in the wet, "what a splendid sight." Mr. Daydream giggled. "Splendid," he agreed. I think they were making a little joke because they knew that it was Little Miss Splendid. Miss Splendid, looking anything but splendid, arrived home. However, after a hot bath in her gold tub, and after a boiled egg in her gold egg cup, eaten with a silver spoon, she felt much better. In fact, later on she spent an extremely pleasant evening looking at, well, what do you think she spent all evening looking at? No, not television. Herself in the mirror. Well, I'm hoping that she was entertained. What did you think of the story? Well, I'm hoping that you're feeling more relaxed now that it's been read to you. And let's relax our body some more by doing that deep breathing exercise that we did at the beginning. Inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now hold the breath for Now let's exhale out for 8. Oh, that deep breathing exercise reminds me that I'm safe right here and right now. And the other thing that would kind of help me is if I heard some jokes, so my body can relax some more. So I'm just going to lean over and get my joke book. And here is some jokes for you. Knock, knock. Who's there? Dale. Dale who? They'll take you swimming if you ask them to. Oh, they'll take you swimming if you ask them to. Cute. Well, here's the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Delta. Delta who? Delta great hand of cards. Oh, like you dealt a great hand of cards. I like that. And here is the third joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Dennis. Dennis who? Dennis gave me a new toothbrush. Oh, the dentist gave me a new toothbrush. Oh, pardon me, I hiccup. Well, thank you very much for joining in today's story and the deep breathing exercises and the jokes. Remember to click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so you can hear when there's new shows coming up. Well, it's been wonderful spending time with you. It really has. And I've enjoyed my time immensely. And I'm hoping that you'll do the deep breathing exercise, and I invite you to do them after you wake up, in the morning, at lunchtime, and just before you go to bed, and when you come back to join me. Well, until next time, see you later. Bye.